Nox Box, everything you need to take your game from the box to the board.
Hi guys, welcome to Nox Box. I am Nock himself, and joining me today is Cordial Rob.
Yep.
We are here with the new Mortarchs of Nagash from Warhammer Fantasy Battles, not 40k, which I may or may not have said in the last video. It is Warhammer Fantasy Battles. You can't use Nagash in 40k. Unless you've got boobs on him and call him a Slaneshi Demon Prince.
Right, we're going to have to start again.
No, this is perfect.
Oh.
Right, Mortarchs of Nagash.
Right, okay, there are 3 Mortarchs in Nagash. They are his lieutenants. They are Arkan the Black, Manfred von Karstenstein, and Nefrata of the Mayor.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Let's crack open the box.
Okay, so we'll start with the box as usual. On the front cover is Arkan the Black on his personal Beast of Doom. If we spin over, we have Manfred von Karstenstein and Nefrata on their personal beasts. We've got some of the zoom-ins of the details and some of the highlights of the models. Okay.
Lovely artwork. It's a good box.
The new boxes are a lot better than the old boxes. So cracking open the box, everyone's favourite piece, the base.
Which, just to put it next to... Do you remember the base for Nagash was bigger than my hand? This one's considerably smaller. This is back to normal size models.
But, well, I would say as a centrepiece of your army, it's got a lot more height. So it's smaller than Nagash, but still it'll tower over most of the other things in an undead army. Okay, if we start with the booklet, it's in English and French. It also includes the rules for the models, so if I quickly just flip through. So you make the mount, and then from there you personalise it depending on which character you're going to be playing.
So actually you can make most of the mount as generic, isn't it?
Most of the mount is generic. So the tail, the body, the legs. It's when you then get to the characters, you then, on the foreplate of the beast, its positioning of its arms and its head's usually separate, but the neck's the same. So I'd be very tempted with this to magnetise it.
Yeah, absolutely. From looking, I've had a really good look at the actual instructions, and it looks as if it's only the neck piece itself that makes it difficult to magnetise. If you choose a fairly generic neck piece, the actual...
Or the one you like the look of.
Or the one you like the look of, yeah, that's probably where to plan.
Manfred's.
Yeah. You can then actually... The riders are plug fit. So you can take the riders in and out if you need to on their separate saddles.
And the heads are plug fit as well. So a set of micro magnets, you'd be laughing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So if we have a quick eyeball of the rules in the box. First one's up, Arkan the Black. Arkan the Black, if you all remember your history lesson, is Nagash's very first lieutenant. He's been following him since forever. He's one of the first, or rather, after Nagash, he was the first person to drink the elixir of immortality. So, unlike the followers, he's not a vampire. So, while the other 2 riders have the vampiric special rule, he doesn't. Also, as his main follower, he's the best spellcaster, so he's a level 4, and his staff is a smaller version of Nagash's staff, so you can store 2 power dice in it per turn to boost your summoning. His summoning, or because he's the Mortarch of Sacrament, when he summons stuff, he doubles the points of it, and later on when we look at the other models, they have other ways of working way around that. So for him, you move him forward, you'll summon stuff for screening or stuff to harass stuff. So tactically, a very entertaining, nice model to use. With 8 wounds, he's going to be a complete pain to remove for your opponent. Good. Right, if we spin over and we go to Manfred's, if we quickly have a look.
Fantastic. I won't zoom in too much, you don't like that.
Right, he's got the Mortarch of Night. His special ability is he doubles the distance for summoning. So you move forward, you then summon stuff in your opponent's back row, like say Warhounds or stuff like that, and then you have them charge as war machines. So
nice.
I'd argue he's better at close combat and he's a lot more tactical.
Yeah, because actually, if you can suddenly make a Vargeist appear behind their units...
I would argue hasn't got the points to do that, But I would say...
Can they not with the new rise? There's all sorts of different...
There's shenanigans to be had there. But I'd say, as he is, you do cheap units and then charge stuff in the rear, or shut down... With him, he's a lot more tactical. So with the double range of rise, you're looking at flanking manoeuvres with cheap stuff, because then you're knocking away combat resolution. So, and then you hammer them with nice big units of skeletons or zombies. We then go to Neferata. So this is the queen of the Lamea vampires. When they got hold of the elixir of Nagash, it was corrupted, and they all thirst for blood. So yet again, they're the other side of the vampires, with the von Karstensteins being on the other. She's, I would argue, less combat-y, but with always strikes first, she's something that if she hits, she's going to cause a lot of problems. So if we now start looking at the kit.
Yay!
Right, okay, this is another 2-sprue kit. So if I start with sprue 1, this has got, a quick look. Alright, this is Arkan the Black, so his distinctive staff, and if you just quickly focus on that, that's the black warpstone gem for the middle of his staff.
Oh, nice. And I must admit,
nice.
That cloak looks amazing.
It looks really dynamic on the pictures, so I would think it's very nice to paint up, because everyone's going to have their personal preferences of how to paint their beast. Because some of them you'll do green, some of them you might do blue. Arkans, I'd be tempted to do a sort of reddish on the skulls, because then it looks more sort of pain and suffering. Because he's been fighting for 3,800 years.
Yeah.
And he's fought all over the old world. So, you know, lots of pain, lots of suffering. If we focus, this is the main body of the giant constructs, with the vertebrae for the tail, the fork end of the tail, and the front legs and the arm sections.
I must admit, I've just noticed they put 1 or 2 skulls in this set.
1 or 200? But, you know, if you look at their history, this is the kit. If you're going to go skull heavy, this is the kit. Yeah,
and this whole steed is meant to be recreated from skeletons and bones.
And each one's got a separate, I wouldn't say demonic entity, but an entity. So one feeds on gluttons. Arkan the Black One hunts down traitors tirelessly, because it's got his aptitude for hating anyone that hasn't followed their master diligently. And as he's followed Nagash since year dot, you know, it's easy to understand. The one thing I do like, if we'd focus, is this is the collar bits of the armour we were mentioning, and each steed has a separate head. So it's a double-sided head popped together and then a socket, so it'd be really easy to magnetise. So
and in fact, with the magnetising, that's the saddle as well. You can see the small bit at the bottom that holds it in.
Yeah.
You can magnetise that so easily.
Yeah. So if I spin it over for some more of the details, so on the inside you've got more skulls, or the backs of all the skulls, and then if we focus up here, there's Arkan's headdress. Now Arkan the Black's, funny enough, known because of his teeth. When he was younger, if you look at the fluff, he used to chew a lot of roots, and that's why he's always got black teeth. So that's why everything else has got grinning skulls. He's got like 2 little dits, which I think is quite nice. If we focus on this side first, there's von Karstenstein's one of his weapons. There's his body and secondary weapon, and he's got the wonderful flare back of the vampire style for the Podrons. His coat's not as ragged, because I think this is the 3rd time he's been brought back to life to fight for someone else. But, you know, you're undead. You get used to it. The spirit hosts of the base are really nice and movement looking.
Yeah.
So very fluid. Because if you look at the separate kits on this one, you've got the Lemaian one, where it looks like she's standing still casting a spell, and they're moving past her, where Manfred, he looks like he's keeping pace with them to attack. So it's, if as a centerpiece of your army, you can have one that looks like it's standing there waiting to strike, or one that looks like it's going to surge forwards to do damage. It's quite a nice kit. Here's the, I think this is Manfred's side panels, which I personally think are the best, because I quite like the Blood Knight kit, so it ties in really nicely with them. Whereas the main one's a bit well, it's more of a sort of plate armour with extra decoration. Okay, so there's the back of the chair for Nefrata. There's the...
She's the only one with the really ornate seat, isn't it? She's got a real throne she's
There's
sitting on.
her beast's head, which has got covered eyes.
Oh, yeah.
So that's more in line with the tomb constructs of the Tomb King army. And as a challenge for a painter, I think, you know, if I see a really nice one, I'm hoping to see some golden demon versions of these, because I think as a centrepiece in the army, they will look stunning.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know Nagash is the obvious choice for the large monster for Golden Demon, but I actually think you've got more opportunities to showcase your ability on this model.
Well, you've got arguably 3 separate models in a box.
Yeah.
If you magnetise them and paint them all up separately, alright, your beast will be a bit generic, but then you can put more details into the characters and the heads, you know, and it'll come up really, really nice. It depends how you're going to tie them into the theme of your Undead Legion, Tomb Kings, Vampire Counts armies. Because, you know, Von Carstenstein, you'll have the Reds, you'll have the Bat Wings, you'll tie that in with your Knights, your Grave Guard, with their shields and stuff like that. With the Tomb King stuff, Ark and the Black, the Lemains, you know, were banished by the Tomb Kings, but they'll still have, you know, vestiges of it in their armies. So it's really easy to, for a character to tie them into different units. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I love the kit. I was a bit unsure about it because of the whole fact it's so full of skulls. There's a lot of skulls on the kit, but then when you read the background and the idea that it isn't what I initially thought was it was an undead dragon or that sort of thing again.
Something like a Terrorgeist or something that's, you know,
yeah, or a zombie dragon or yeah. Where what they actually have done is it is a personal steed that's been created out of bone and skeletons for the rider.
And they've been awarded them by Nagash.
Exactly. In that respect, I actually really like the skulls and I think it's really thematic and I love it. For me, by far, the best is Arkan. I love the way Arkan looks. His cape, or his cloak, is just unbelievable. And the movement with that is mirrored by the baits, well, the staff as well, and the baits underneath.
It gives a whole sense of movement to the model, which is, you know, very, very nice. I'm going to go the opposite and say I actually quite the Nefrata one after looking at it, because the way she's standing there, she's casting something, and everyone else is moving, and she's waiting for her time to strike.
Yeah, I know what you mean. But it's also the bits you do in between, because I'm definitely, for my one, I'm going to be making Manfred von Carstein's collar.
Yeah.
On the all over the place. On Ark and the Black's steed.
Yeah.
Because I'm not as keen on the large cartouche and the rather plain steed. I know it works for Arkan.
Yeah.
But I would really like to see the slightly more aggressive looking Manfred's
yeah, that's
collar.
fair. And that way it's easier to tie in if you've got different elements in.
Absolutely.
Because you can always do it in the different colours.
Oh, absolutely. The joy with the whole, the way they're bringing out Nagash and the end times as a whole, you really can mix things around and play with it.
Yeah.
Because it's the same creatures, in theory, that are being destroyed and then reanimated once again. And each time they're being re-knit from different bones.
Yeah.
It's a really cool idea and I like it. I'm really looking forward to it. GW, if you ever watch this, we need zombie dwarves, we need zombie skaven, we need zombie goblins, we need zombie everything.
I would argue, as a themed army, depending on which one you're doing, so Arkan's been sent to Bretonia to get the Nagash's staff, Von Carstenstein's been sent to slow down the Ever-Chosen, Nefrata's doing something.
Controlling the whole world and her web of amazingness.
In intrigue.
Yeah.
You know, so depending where you are, you could easily have a box of something else and zombify it, and off you go.
Oh, absolutely. But nothing. I will love. It was at the old Regiments of Renown. You used to get undead everything. And you had a skeletal skaven, a skeletal orc, and skeletal dwarf. I would love to see that come out as part of this end times. I think if we're ever going to see it, it's most likely now.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
We know there are other stuff coming.
Yeah.
So.
Well, brilliant. Well, thank you for joining us, and yeah, we'll chatting away. Thanks,
see
guys.
You next time.
Remember to subscribe to the channel and like us on Facebook for all of your gaming needs.